Now, sports and politics have had a strained relationship in that there is always some politics at play. Political events and incidents affects the sporting culture and health of a country. This we know. But they also affect the future of the sports persons who decide to speak up about political incidents. There is a war raging and Israel and Palestine find themselves embroiled in it. And many athletes across sporting disciplines have joined in to express their opinions with very adverse outcome. Some, over decades, have also stood up for a movement that they have strongly believed in to gain some influence with the public and try to effect a change. But all of that has been met with disastrous consequences.
Athletes and sports icons who have expressed their political stance have often found themselves at the forefront of controversy. They are sacked, their contracts are terminated, or they are simply kept aside. Since politics is highly polarized, choosing a side has proven to be a not-so-wise move. More so when it comes to high-profile athletes who enjoy a massive fan base. Colin Kaepernick is viewed as a football icon. His acts of resistance have made social statements. Kaepernick decided to show his protest of police brutalities against the black community by kneeling during the national anthem. This was in 2016 during a preseason game between the San Francisco 49ers and Green Bay. An entire movement called Take the Knee grew out of it. Kaepernick became one of the most divisive faces after that. He found himself without a contract for several years, and it got to a point where his legal team filed a grievance against the NFL. Colin's gesture became a symbol of protest against police brutality. He went from being a football star to an icon advocating for civil rights.
The fact that you say, no, you're a backup quarterback, stay in your place, that's an issue. I mean, to me, you're telling me that my position as a backup quarterback and being quiet is more important than people's lives. You know, I would ask him to really have a conversation with the families of people that have been murdered and see if he still feels that way. Because I bet you he doesn't, just because he hasn't experienced that type of oppression.
Kaepernick's act of defiance had ignited a furore in the NFL. Players like Eric Reid, Kenny Stills, Michael Bennett all found themselves in trouble for following in Kaepernick's footsteps. Muhammad Ali, the world heavyweight champion, was arrested in 1967. One of the most recognizable athletes, he was stripped of his title because he refused to get enlisted in the army during the Vietnam War. His fighting license was snubbed and he was found guilty of draft evasion. It was not until 1975 that he regained his title after defeating George Foreman. Basketball star Bron James has repeatedly raised his voice on social issues. He was asked to shut up and dribble for talking politics. Athletes have repeatedly been asked to stay in their lanes because their identity is just perceived as quarterbacks, forwards and centers. They can't become a voice that influences the larger public, but they refuse to be tamed by the pressure and keep shut. Here's what LeBron James responded with after he was asked to shut up and dribble. Even American soccer legend Megan Rapinoe wasn't spared for her outspoken activism. She drew criticism from former US President Donald Trump. Rapinoe was one among the first supporters who stood in solidarity with Kaepernick. After regulations were made forbidding anyone to kneel, she went on to refuse singing the anthem and continued it for years as a protest against racial inequality. For Rapinoe, her jersey is for all the people who are discriminated against.
You know, I feel like, I mean, being a gay female athlete, if you're not equipped to deal with multiple things coming at you at the same time, you're probably not going to make it very far. But I actually don't see it as compartmentalization. I take it all out there with me. I just got asked this question the other day. How do you pull on the U.S. jersey and the Federation's jersey and at the same time have this lawsuit? Well, it's like I don't pull on the jersey for the federation or for the people that are discriminating against me. I put it on for myself. I put it on for, all the people that are being discriminated against.
The latest in this hit list is Karim Benzema. He expressed his views about supporting the people of Palestine. Benzema was accused of having links to the Muslim Brotherhood. It was suggested that his French citizenship be revoked. Such is the price that sports players pay for merely expressing opinions. Liverpool's Salah posted a video message on his social media.
It's not always easy to speak in time like this. There has been too much violence and too much heartbreaking brutality. The escalations in the recent weeks is unbearable to witness. All lives are sacred and must be protected. The massacres need to stop. Families are being torn apart. What's clear now is that humanitarian aid to Gaza must be allowed immediately.
But what preceded this was online criticism by fans for staying silent. Speaking on such sensitive issues is a double-edged sword. Despite knowing the potential backlash and consequences, athletes choose to be vocal about certain political issues. Athletes' involvement in these matters have a lasting impact. After all, they're not just powerless faces. They can swing the narrative, but their expressions come at a cost of them being vilified.
It's the dream of every cricketer, the ultimate glory. Few manage to keep their date with destiny. But for many, it's been heartbreaks and a cross to bear. The Holy Grail is here in India. I'm Rupha Ramani, and Firstpost brings you the ringside view. We bring you the Cup of Dreams, Cricket World Cup coverage like never before.